Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to you for your invitation to come here and speak to you today, and thank all of you for the opportunity to meet with you and to speak to you about something that we feel very strongly about. So as the Chair has been good enough to introduce me, I'll just say a little bit more about who I am. I am the team leader at Focal Point Twins at the European Cybercrime Centre at Europol. I've been attached to the team since 2013, and have a long history in the investigation of child sexual exploitation and abuse online and offline. My team is a team of 14 people. They're all very committed individuals, interested in ensuring that the member states are supported and assisted, and that we coordinate their investigations into child sexual abuse and exploitation online in a way that makes their investigations efficient and effective. So, when I got the opportunity to come and talk to you today, I had to say that I grabbed it with both hands, because there are very rare occasions on which you get a chance to come and talk to our legislators, our decision makers in the legislative area, to talk to our fellow speakers and our colleagues from non-governmental organisations, and to talk to representatives of the ICT, to talk to ICT and the companies whose platforms we use in helping to identify children, and also whose platforms, unfortunately, are occasionally abused by those who abuse children. So I wanted to speak to you as legislators, and the Chair again has been good enough to introduce part of the topic that I want to talk to you on, which is the Directive 2011-92 EU in relation to combating child sexual exploitation, child sexual abuse and child pornography. Now, obviously, when you introduced this piece of legislation, which is an extremely comprehensive piece of legislation, you intended with it that the investigators and the prosecutors in the member states would use it and have the opportunity to use it, and use all the tools that you made available in it to properly investigate and properly prosecute cases of child sexual abuse, sexual exploitation and child pornography. It's my belief that that piece of legislation very well meets that intent. But what I would ask you to do at this stage is to concentrate a little. I would ask you to look at the way in which the member states are transposing that legislation into their national legislation. I would ask you to do that because, in particular with Article 15.4, there is an emphasis on the rights of the victims, as the Chair has already said, and on the rights of those victims to be identified. And what Article 15.4 does is it says that the Member States should enable investigators to have the opportunity to identify victims of this crime. Now, I can tell you that investigators throughout the world, and particularly in our case in the European Union, are very passionate about the work that they do, because many of them have spent hundreds of hours reviewing and viewing child sexual abuse and child sexual exploitation videos and images to try and find clues in them to identify children. I can also tell you that we need more hands on deck in order to do that. We need more individuals in the member states working with the resources that are required in order to identify more victims. Because I can tell you that when you were an investigator, you were looking at the face of a child who, when their image was recorded or the video was recorded of them, was being abused in the most horrendous way. The trust that they should be able to have in adults was being damaged and being torn apart. When you are doing that, what you want most as an investigator and what you want most as a human being is to be able to reach into the world of that child and tell them that it's okay. You want to be able to reach into the life of that child, and you want to stop them from being abused. And it is only by dedicating the resources required in order to do that that we can identify those victims, that we can identify more of those victims, and that we can make them safe from the abuse that they are suffering. And that is what I came to ask you to do today. Thank you.